Good evening, everybody. My name is Sonia Varillo. I'm the designated officer for leadership development and also the New York State PTA treasurer. Before we get started, did you know that by attending this webinar, you could qualify for a leadership development pin? Here's all you have to do. Step 1 is to attend at least 6 of these electrifying webinars. Step 2 is to soak up the knowledge like a sponge. Step 3, now here's where the real fun begins, is apply what you've learned in your unit or district and show us how you're making waves. Once you've nailed these 3 steps and wowed us with your leadership skills, you'll unlock the secret treasure, which is the exclusive Leadership Development Award pin. It's not just a pin, it's a badge of honor that says you're a rock star leader in our organization. This webinar's LD badge question is, what is the name of the new membership campaign that helps tackle common membership myths, such as I have to volunteer if I join, or PTA is just for mom? Be sure to listen for the answer during this presentation. I'm happy to now introduce Jackie Wilson, our leadership training specialist.
Thank you, Sonia. And I'd like to give a shout out to our Vice President, Rob Rihos, who's the designated officer for membership. Rob, would you like to say something?
Thank you and welcome, everybody. I think you're in great hands with Renee and the presentation they've put together. Again, a reminder, membership goes all year around. So this is an important webinar, and we hope that you continue to get those numbers up. Thanks again, Jackie and team.
Thanks, Rob. Tonight's presentation is recorded. At the end of the recording, we will have a question and answer session. So please feel free to put your questions in the chat box and we will get to them after the presentation. Our presenters tonight will be Renee Daniels, who is the membership coordinator, Kathleen Jenny, who is the marketing specialist, and Sherry McKittrick, who is the membership specialist. So I'll turn it over to our membership team for their presentation.
This presentation has been pre-recorded, so I'm going to share the recording now. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and the team will also be taking questions at the end of this video presentation.
Welcome, everyone, to Membership for the Second Half. Tonight, the membership team for New York State PTA will share upcoming awards, ideas, and more to keep your PTA's membership growing as we head into the new year. We are New York State PTA's membership team. My name is Renee Daniels, and I am the membership coordinator. Also with me tonight is Kathleen Jenny, our marketing specialist, and Sherry McKittrick, our membership engagement specialist. We'd also like to welcome our new designated officer, Vice President Robert Rihos. And in the office in Albany, we have our staff, Caitlin Daly, Communications and Marketing, and Dana Welch, Membership Manager. A special thank you to New York State PTA President Helen Hoffman, who reminds us to keep our mission in the forefront of our minds, who keeps us focused on the value of what we do and why we do it. By supporting kids and raising awareness, we uphold our mission, which is PTA is a powerful voice for all children, a relevant resource for families and communities, and a strong advocate for the education and well-being of every child. Turn this over to Kathleen to get us started tonight.
Thank you, Renee. Hello, everyone. My name is Kathleen Jenny, and I'm the New York State PTA Marketing Specialist. Did you know that we were only halfway through the membership year, and there are still 6 more months left to encourage non-members to join your PTA? Right now, units are slowing down after the crazy holiday season. So this is the perfect time to refocus and re-energize ourselves to continue growing membership. With 6 months still left in the school year, consider writing a mid-year newsletter to your entire school community, members and non-members alike, and tell them what your PTA has been up to. Focus on what you've accomplished to date. What events have you done? Fundraisers, What support have you offered or resources to families and community? Also, let them know what you've brought to the students, to the parents, to the teachers in the first couple of months of the school year. Share all the membership awards your PTA has received to date, and let members know that these awards were earned because they said yes to supporting our PTA through membership. Share your plans for the next 6 months and remember to include and ask for non-members to join your PTA and support your plans moving forward. Remind everyone that membership is about supporting the work your PTA does. There are no volunteer requirements, and meetings are open to everyone to attend, but only members may vote. Here's a tip for you. Share your recent treasurer report, your meeting minutes, and a list of meeting dates for the remainder of this school year. Encourage non-members to join your unit because there is still plenty of time. There are more programs and initiatives for the children in your communities coming up, and their support through membership is still very much needed this school year. Lastly, remember to also include a big thank you to your members who have joined so far. Consider hosting a membership appreciation reception at your next meeting. Not only can you sell memberships at each meeting, but you can also say thank you personally or as a group to these people who support your unit through membership. Also, at this reception, this can be an opportune moment to ask members to sit on a committee, such as the nominating committee, the bylaws committee, if your PTA needs to renew them this school year, or their audit committee. All of these committees should be forming right about now, so don't forget to reach out and ask for help. At the same time, please review your current membership drives and make adjustments. Which ones are working well? Do you want to try to use these techniques again next year or in the future this year? Do you need to change things up a little to spice it up, make it fresh? Which ones are not working well? Is there anything you can do to make these better? After you've done this review, you can create your plan for future membership drives in the months ahead. Now, to continue, we're going to turn it over to Sherry, who will tell us what's happening in January. Sherry?
Thank you, Kathleen. Hi, everyone. I am Sherry McKittrick, New York State PTA Membership Engagement Specialist. As a member, to be eligible for any New York State PTA award, your PTA must be in good standing as described in your bylaws. Additionally, for membership awards, your PTA must meet the criteria described for each membership award, which includes entering and paying state and national dues in givebacks by the final day of the month in each award is given. In January, there are 2 awards your PTA might achieve. The first is the Savvy Membership Award, which is 100% of your membership goal. This will be the last opportunity to achieve the Savvy Award for school this year. Then we have the Engagement Plus Award, previously known as the Family Engagement Award. The Family Engagement Award is a self-nominated award that your PTA will do by filling out a Google form. This form will be sent out to unit leaders in our memo newsletter, and it will be posted on the New York State PTA Leaders Group page, as well as will be available on the New York State PTA website. Simply fill out the Google form and share your experience with the PTA Plus card to self-nominate and earn the Engagement Plus Award badge. Renee, help us out and let us know how to use the PTA Plus card.
Well, the PTA Plus card is a campaign tool your PTA unit may choose to use to help grow your membership. This tool is not just for January. It can actually be used anytime throughout the whole school year. Here are 3 ideas on how your PTA can use it. One idea is to use it to be entered into a drawing. Think of an incentive like a popular spiritware item, for example, or maybe a prize such as a special lunch with the principal. To enter the drawing, a member should enlist 5 new members and use the PTA Plus card to keep track of who they get to join. When they fill it up, have them turn it in to be entered to win the prize. Another idea is to have a current member fill up a card by enlisting 5 new members, and when they fill it up, they can use it for free admission into an upcoming dance or other PTA event. Or your PTA can use this as a benefits card to gift to current members who successfully enlist a number of members you determine. Offer up to 5 incentives that your PTA chooses, such as a free refreshment at a PTA event, a free ice cream at a lunch, a free item from the school store, a free hall pass, or a free homework pass. There are so many creative things that you can do. Hey, Kathleen, I heard there's a brand new campaign this year. How about you tell us about it?
Absolutely, Renee. I have to say as well, the feedback we have had so far this year has been very positive. This new campaign is called The Power of You. The concept behind the campaign is with the power of you, you get to decide what your membership looks like. PTA started with a vision, and with each person that joins, they help make that vision a reality. This campaign helps PTA debunk many of the common PTA myths like, if I join, I have to volunteer. Or my favorite, I can only be a member of one PTA. With the power of you, you get to decide what your membership looks like. Maybe you can't volunteer with everything that you have already on your overflowing plate. With the power of you, this is perfectly fine. This campaign lets people know there is no pressure, and their support through membership is enough. And with the power of you can support multiple PTAs, especially if your children are in different buildings. You can join each of those PTAs. Or maybe your district has a SEPTA, which stands for Special Education PTA. The power of you means you can join them all to support them all. Remember too, you don't even have to have kids in school to join PTA. Anyone can be a member and everyone should. Sherry, what do we have coming up in February?
Oh, thanks for asking, Kathleen. In February, we have the Founders Day Award. During February, entered more than 10 new members. Don't forget, pay state and national dues for all the members who have joined by February 28th, and your PTA will earn the Founders Day Award. Renee, can you tell us more about the Founders Day Award?
Okay, Sherry, what is Founders Day and why do we celebrate it? Well, Founders Day is celebrated each year on February 17th to honor the 3 founding leaders of New York State PTA. On February 17th, 1897, our founders, Alice McClellan Burney and Phoebe Apperson Hearst, gathered for the Mothers Congress first meeting in Washington, D.C., and saw the beginning of what would become the largest and now oldest volunteer organization that works exclusively on behalf of children and youth. In 1926, Selena Sloan Butler formed the National Congress of Colored Parents and Teachers. In 1970, the 2 organizations united to expand their reach to protect the needs of all children and youth. 127 years later, here we are, and here you are. Help us honor the 3 founding leaders of New York State PTA by celebrating each anniversary of PTA with a Founders Day event of your own. Use this opportunity to bring awareness to what New York State PTA advocates for. Take part in the statewide Founders Day celebration membership drive, which is February 10th through the 17th. and share your Founders Day celebrations with us during this week. Some ideas for your celebrations can include a challenge to students to research PTA and create a school display or mural. Observe the inclusiveness of PTA's founding by organizing a culture festival, celebrating your community's various ethnic and cultural groups. Host a special awards and recognition ceremony at your February meeting to honor your past and present volunteers, leaders, parents, teachers, and students. Don't forget to watch social media as we celebrate our PTA legacy. Kathleen, do you have another campaign idea for our leaders?
Oh, Renee, you know I do. One of the most popular and long-standing campaigns we have is the Plus One campaign. This campaign has the potential to double your membership because this is where we ask each member to sign up one other person to join in supporting your PTA by becoming a member. You can hold a contest between classrooms to see which one gets the most people to join. Another idea for a prize with a fun and surprising twist is that because everyone is working hard to add their plus one, work with your school principal to award every classroom some extra time for recess at the end of the plus one drive. Or maybe you want to host a school-wide pajama day. Make sure you remind everyone that anyone can join. That means a spouse or a partner, grandparents, students, friends, aunts, uncles, cousins, community members like the public librarian, your clergy members. Anyone who believes in the mission of PTA can join at any time during the school year. Now, Sherry, do we have any awards coming up in March?
We absolutely do, Kathleen. Thank you. March is all about our students. This award has a new lower percentage to achieve the award. Now, if your PTA has 20% of your total membership entered using the student member type, and don't forget, pay your dues for all members joined to the date March 31st, your PTA will achieve the Student Rock Award. Some ideas for middle and high school are to encourage students to become members with fun incentive events where student members go to slime the principal or their favorite teacher. Your PTA can also gift graduating seniors who are PTA members with a graduation cord to wear at their graduation ceremony in a couple of months. For the elementary level, encourage students to join and host a kid PTA meeting where the students are at the level get to choose the next movie night or a special activity during recess. Renee, what's coming up in April?
Thanks, Sherry. In April, we have a new award this year called the Community Voices Award. For this award, ask alumni who have moved on to another school or who have graduated already to continue to support your PTA and renew their membership. You can also remind past members who have not joined yet to renew their membership. Remember, you can still be a member even if you don't have a child in school any longer. Make sure your PTA has a table at community events as well. You can also seek out clergy and local law enforcement to join too. And I'm told Kathleen has some news about business sponsors and what some PTAs have done to create a member benefits program with their local business sponsors. Kathleen?
Thank you, Renee. Many PTAs find success in seeking out business sponsors within their community. Your PTA can create a member benefits program with these local businesses to offer a discount in their establishment to your PTA members as a way to support their business while at the same time offering these businesses an opportunity to support the children in your school. Remember, A business cannot be a member. Only an individual person can. You will enter the business owner or manager as a member, and your PTA can issue a certificate, such as the one seen in the slide here, and the business can then hang that in their establishment for their patrons to see. Some PTAs use this as an opportunity to raise funds and offer support to businesses as simple perks to support them in return. For example, you may display your sponsors' names at an event or on your website. Sherry, can you tell us what one school created?
Oh, no problem. A few years ago, Tucker Avenue PTA shared with us their campaign for becoming a sponsor. Create your own sponsor program and offer sponsor benefit in return for their contribution, such as putting an ad on the flyer or other communications you send, advertising at your event, sending a certificate of appreciation, as we just discussed, and add the business to your website under the special page for sponsors. Having local businesses to work with can have the potential to help your PTA grow. With Kavana and other easy-to-use programs online, you can easily create your own coupons to share with members that they can use at these supporting businesses. Speaking of growth, Renee has more information on the final awards for the school year.
All right. So we have our Good Apple Membership Growth Awards that are coming up at the end of the school year. Challenge your PTA to grow your membership total over last year's ending number by 100%, 50%, or 25%, and pay state and national dues for all members to date by May 31st. The highest growth statewide will receive a $300 cash prize. Some as we near your elections. Remember, only members of the current year are eligible for election. Make sure you check that your officers slated by the nominating committee are all current members. And only members of the current school year may vote in your elections. Your PTA should be prepared to sell memberships at this meeting in case there are people there attending that wish to vote and have not yet joined. Last, in regard to student members voting, while all children may join and be members of your PTA, students should possess an understanding of what they are voting on. Generally speaking, this means middle or high school level. If you have any questions about this, contact your New York State PTA Region Director. We will share in the comments section a link for you to obtain their contact information. Kathleen, care to share a quick recap?
Of course, Renee. Here is our awards at a glance. As a reminder, to be eligible for any of these awards, your PTA unit must, number one, be in good standing as described by your bylaws. In addition, your PTA needs to meet the criteria described for each membership award we discussed tonight. This includes entering and paying state and national dues and givebacks by the final day of the month in which the award is given. For example, if it's a month that ends on the 30th, make sure you pay by end of business on the 30th, or you will not be eligible. In a moment, we will share important QR codes to help you find the information about all our awards. So please get your phones ready. But before we do that, Sherry is going to point out some more great resources for you to use. Sherry?
Thanks, Kathleen. New York State PTA has been growing our library of resources for units and we are adding more. Please make sure you head over to www.nyspta.org and click the membership tab to find all sorts of graphic and advice for help. And Renee's going to help us now with the QR codes. Renee?
Everybody got their phones out? All this information can be found on the New York State PTA website under the membership tab. Toolkit, awards, PTA success stories, help with givebacks, memo newsletter archive, how to virtual PTA, and student membership. Remember to share your success story with us. Past stories have had a great impact on many units statewide as leaders like yourself share all the wonderful things they do. Kathleen, can you share our most important resource for our leaders on here tonight?
I'd be happy to, Renee. Your greatest resource is your Region Membership Chair, or your RMC. This is a local volunteer in your region who can be a useful resource for your PTA. On the screen, you'll see a list of your regions and the RMCs assigned there. Please contact your RMC for help with ideas, with questions. They are here for you. I'm here and now we're turning it over to Sherry.
And just to add to what you said, Kathleen, and remember, New York State PTA's membership team is here to help you as well. Renee?
At this time, we are going to answer your burning questions. Please post your questions in the chat box for our moderator, and the team will answer them.
Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Kathleen and Sherry, who was unable to be with us tonight in person. So we'd like to begin with some questions. And why don't you start us off, Sonia?
Okay, so I'm gonna ask for the answer for the question that I gave you at the beginning. So this is the Leadership Development Badge question. What is the name of the new membership campaign that helps tackle common membership myths, such as I have to volunteer if I join, or PTA is just for moms? The answer is The Power of You.
And in the chat box, Renee had shared a couple of items for you. Renee, you want to tell us what you put in the chat box there?
Yep, so the first link is to the New York State PTA website where you will find who your region directors are. There's a map of New York State and it's color coded. So just find the county where your school is located and the corresponding region name. So for example, if you're down on Long Island, you're either in Nassau region or in Suffolk region. And there's contact information there for those region directors. And also I shared the list for your RMC, which is your region membership chair. They are your local help. They serve on your region board, and they can help you out with so many different things, like Kathleen had mentioned in the recording, ideas, advice, or just be a sounding board when you have some, trouble with membership and you're, beating your head against the wall. They're there to help you.
Thanks, Renee. Question, I asked my treasurer to pay our dues. How can I check to see if this was done and what the date was when they were paid? Very important, of course, to remain in good standing.
So this is actually one of the most asked questions that we get at the state level, especially when it comes to why didn't we get this award? So to check if your treasurer made the dues payment, it's in the givebacks, previously known as Member Hub. When you log in, underneath the membership tab on the sidebar on the left, just click on remit state dues, and it will give you a list of all the payments that you have made for this school year, the date it was created, and the amount and the number of memberships that were paid.
Thank you. Sonia? Unmute.
Sure, yep, hang on. Okay. Another question. We want to change the amount of our dues. How do we do that?
So that's another popular question that we get. So in order to change the amount of your dues, you have to do that through your bylaws. You have to amend your bylaws or update your bylaws. And you're going to want to contact a region director who will get you in touch with the bylaws chair that you have available locally to help you through that process. There is a bit of a process to do it. So, the sooner you get started on that, the better.
Okay, thank you. Where can we find the specific criteria for all the membership awards?
Kathleen, you want to let them know?
Sure, of course. For your membership award criteria, you're going to want to go to our New York State PTA website, newyorkstatepta.org, and click on our membership tab. And if you look, there'll be a section that says awards. And if you scroll down, it will show each month and what you need to do to acquire that award. For example, in this month, our award is related to that PTA Plus card that we were discussing. And actually what you'll do is you will do a self-nominated award where you'll fill out a Google form to apply.
Thank you. Sonia?
Yep. Hang on, just one. Lost my list of questions. Just one second.
4.
Are there any questions that any participants have?
I don't see anything in the chat box, but if you have a question that we haven't answered, feel free to mute and ask that question if you want. Okay, I don't see anything.
Okay. Here's a question. Can students join?
Students absolutely can join.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only requirement is that in order for them to vote on issues, they really have to be old enough to understand the mission. So that's usually geared around 6th grade and up, middle school, junior high students, and so on.
Yep. And they can, like she said, you can also join, students can join at the elementary level. And funny enough, quick little story, I was actually just made aware of a unit that's in Suffolk region, the Candlewood PTA, who started their first student PTA. And the goal was to engage more students and give them an opportunity to be active PTA members. And by the end of September, they had almost 70 students to join up to be a member of the PTA. The PTA leaders had also promised to meet during the school day. So their initial meeting was actually 4 mini meetings during their lunch periods to give students an overview of what PTA is and the countless activities that they have, events and fun treats. The students also had an opportunity to provide the PTA with important feedback on programs that they were offering, issues that they were facing, and things that they would like to see. And most importantly, the students made the big decision on what the PTA will give to the students for a Halloween treat. So over their next 2 meetings where they met after school, the group also discussed what they wanted the student PTA to accomplish this year. And now they plan on leaving a lasting impression on their school. So it's currently up to over 100 student members in their PTA, which is phenomenal. And, it's just, I find this to be so encouraging that, as youngsters, they're learning how to advocate for themselves at such a young age. So it's a huge benefit to include students in your PTA.
Absolutely, I agree. And when I was high school president, we had a vice president that was a member of the student senate. And so they were able to liaison with the student senate if we were doing something in the building, or if the student senate was doing something in the building. So we kept the lines of communication open with those students. And it was very, very beneficial, because then the students go back, and maybe if their parents haven't joined, they kind of get excited and say, Ma, did you join the PTA? And so it might be a way to connect more parents with the PTA as well. Yeah, great ideas, great ideas. We had a question in the chat asked, what are the benefits of our units earning these awards?
Sorry, I was having a hard time unmuting. So the New York State PTA Awards, keep in mind that, not everybody earns these awards. So, it is a bragging point that your members are helping you make these achievements, and it is effective in what your PTA does. And it also, on the state level, the more members you have, the more voices we have. You can also earn these awards also to, try to bring in more members so that you have more voices at your local level.
Sonia, you have another question?
Sure. I do want to add, though, that a lot of times with these awards, they do drawings of people that have achieved the awards, and you do get some cash or swag, shall we say. So you have an opportunity for those kinds of exclusive benefits as well. Another question might be, who would be considered alumni members?
Kathleen, did you want to answer that?
Sure. Alumni members would be, I believe, traditionally we ask people who, say you're moved up to middle school, but you used to be in the elementary school. Your children might have been there. They and you can still be members of that PTA. So it's a connection to your previous school, whether it be the elementary, the junior high school, or the high school when you go on to college. Just because your children have moved out of the school, or just because you yourself have moved out of school, does not mean that you don't still have an active role that you can play in your PTA.
Thank you. There was another question regarding any tips for encouraging more teachers and staff to join?
I know a lot of schools have had luck with teacher grants, offering grants for your special area teachers, even including the nurse or other employees. So some of these schools, what they're doing is, a lot of these times, they turn to the PTA looking for help in getting something, in obtaining something. So, well, if you're a member, you can always create your own kind of grant, your own teacher grant, with a list of some criteria that they must meet in order to become a member. And like I said, locally in my own home district, our elementary awards, I think it's $500 to the grade level if all teachers join. So there's 5 teachers per level. So they're basically earning $100 per teacher just for joining PTA. So that's, one perk, if your budget allows something like that. It doesn't have to be that much money. It could be something much smaller. But that is one way that they have seen success with that.
Okay. Sonia, you have another question?
Yep, there's a question in the chat that looks like it's getting some answers, but maybe might be worth answering it live. Is what's the difference between PTA and PTSA?
Okay, so we're all PTA. PTSA is Parent Teacher Student Association. Then you have your SEPTA, your Special Education PTA, and your SEPSAs, your Special Education Parent Teacher Student. It's just a special designation. It doesn't mean that, a student can't join PTA. And it doesn't necessarily mean that being a PTSA, they do have the ability, students, to hold an elected seat, such as I think it's the corresponding secretary they can be elected to, or a vice president. They cannot be the president, they cannot be the treasurer, and they cannot be the secretary or recording secretary, but they can be elected to those other seats.
Another question, how do I explain why members have to join more than one PTA if they have children in 2 different buildings or 2 different schools?
Well, each of those PTA units is actually its own independent 503 nonprofit. So they each have their own bylaws. They each have their own bank accounts. They're under the umbrella of New York State PTA. However, you have to join each one separately and pay dues to each one separately because they are independent.
Thank you. Sonia, anything else that you see?
There was another question in the chat. What was more of a comment, but I think it's a good question too, is about how we can encourage students that are 13 years and older to join PTA. The usual, fun recess or dress down days aren't necessarily as effective in those upper grades and upper ages.
So there are some things that you can do for the older kids to give them incentives. We did talk about, we've seen schools, junior high and high schools with success, using the incentive to slime their teacher or slime their principals, hitting a certain number of student members, will achieve this fun activity. There's also on the high school level, graduation cords. Some PTAs and PTSAs or central PTSAs, they give their senior students a cord, like they have the honor cords when they graduate. They can, the PTA can purchase a cord to give to PTSA members. So that's another perk that you can use to get a student to join.
Another aspect too is that you could highlight the advocacy efforts that PTA does. A lot of students have issues that are very important to them, and you can show them how through PTA they can have a voice in their district or even at the state level on issues that may mean something to them personally, such as increased mental health funding and the like.
Environment is a big issue for a lot of teens, and I think that would be a great way for them to get involved in a specific environmental issue in the community, or just even a recycling, whatever they can be involved in, and the PTA can certainly assist them in that. So that's a good idea. Kathleen, thank you. And our unit reached the goals set by the state, so why do we need to keep recruiting members?
Well, we're coming into the part of the school year where you're going to start forming, and we did mention this in the recording, you're going to start forming your nominating committees, you're going to start forming your audit committees. So those important tasks that need to be taken care of in the next few months, they need to be members in order to sit on those committees. Additionally, in order to be elected to be an officer next school year, they have to be a current officer this year. So there's that aspect. Another thing is, we're coming into the months where advocacy is going to start rolling out. Sessions already started in Albany. And we're going to be having our lobby day, I think it is, coming up here pretty soon in the next month or so. So PTA members have a voice at that table, when we go to Albany and we are advocating for the entire state of students and children. Locally, to have more members joining, you get to decide what you do with your membership list. You can have a bigger push to get more involved. You can create more committees so that you can have maybe less daunting parent involvement. I know some parents are kind of hesitant to get involved right away. So having committees, forming committees with your members is a great way to pull in more parents. And again, needing to be a member. Did you have anything to add to that, Kathleen?
I apologize. I had a little trouble unmuting. No, nothing to add. I apologize.
And just one last comment as we move on. We all face the challenges, and as you listen to some of the examples, both in the webinar as well as in the Q&A that we've had, you realize that the imagination can go anywhere in terms of what you can offer to the staff, to your students. And it doesn't have to be costly or expensive. That's why the business relationships are important as well. What student doesn't want to have a free pizza coupon or something? So those are the kinds of things that may be an incentive for them to join, where they get a benefit immediately. Well, I want to thank Renee and Kathleen, who are here this evening with us, as well as Sherry, who was also on the recording, our membership team, and Rob, for all of their hard work in putting this together. And they are constantly working. They work pretty much 24/7 all year long to come up with all of the needs that you have in making your membership great. Sonia, any last remarks?
No, other than thank you everybody for attending, and we look forward to seeing you at our webinar next month.
Okay, and February webinar is February 8th, and that will be on nominations and elections. So watch your social media postings, Facebook page, Instagram, etc., and the PTA Connections, which always give that information on how to join each of the webinars, as well as, of course, the information for the LD badge. So we hope you all remember the question. What is the name of the new membership campaign that helps tackle common membership myths? And that will be our question asked of those of you who attended the webinar today. Thank you so much for your attention, and see you next month.
Thank you very much.